Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. I'm so privileged to know the inside of so many businesses, hundreds, if not thousands. And the one thing that loads of people struggle with is numbers. We make so much money, but then it's gone by the end of the month. We don't know where it's gone. We don't know our outgoings. We don't know our incomings. We don't know our profit margins with the treatments, which is an absolute must if we are running a business. I have been working long and hard creating an app that is for you to make sure that you know your numbers inside out and become the CEO you really need to be. So make sure you check out the show notes below and find out more. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Life of KG. We have Charlie on the show today. He's my very good friend. He's spoken at my events and he's an incredible businessman. Yes, we have a man on the show.
Am I first man?
No, you're not, but we don't have many.
Oh, okay.
Let me move this in actually, otherwise you're not going to have to hear me as well. So, do you want to do a quick intro? Who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so, long story short, as you already know, I started in business when I was about 7 years old. I started making radio tapes, made up radio tapes, selling to make money in school. I'm not sure if it's legal or not, but that's what I did. And then fast forward, started buying properties at 18. I don't like saying this, but obviously become a million or multi, I don't know how much, but
multi-millionaire, own it.
Millionaire by 21-ish. But I never really looked at it for money, to be fair. So I didn't realise. I just realised I didn't have to work and I wanted to volunteer. And so I lived in Madagascar for a while. And then from there, just bought properties, buy businesses. I sit on the board of very large companies, scale companies, just all sorts. Anything in terms of investing or building business, I love.
Yeah.
And property. Love property.
I love that. I reckon I could pick your brains forever. So do you think you're born an entrepreneur or do you think you're made an entrepreneur?
I actually think it's possible to have two types, but I think you've got the natural ones and they're the ones who are genuinely born like me, where I just from 7 was already thinking about how do I, and again, I wasn't money driven, I was freedom driven, but I understood that money was like that. So I think you can be born it and that's easier then. If you're born, you just know what you're going to do. Yeah. You might not know how, but you just know what you're going to do. Whereas I think learning to become an entrepreneur is really hard because you actually just have to be a little bit different in terms of the way you think and your work ethic and your commitment and resilience, I think, is the biggest one. I think you either have good resilience, you can work on it, but you have good resilience levels or you don't. And I've seen people who genuinely want to be an entrepreneur. I've worked with them. They're great people. They've got great work ethic, but they just don't have that conviction in what they do to do it. So I think you could be both, but you're born with something.
Yeah, I think you're just a completely different person if you're a natural entrepreneur. Our minds are just built completely different.
I guess, I don't know about you, but you just don't stop. You can't, even if you stop physically, your brain is always like...
But how do you deal with that? Because I really struggle with that. I'll question myself and be like, oh my God, am I like a workaholic? And I'll get down about it, be like, why can't I do anything else? But then I love it so much. I will sit there, say for example, very rarely we'll sit in front of the TV. If that episode or that movie don't get my attention within the space of minutes, that's it. I'm gone. I'm thinking of my new business idea. It's done.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I think I was having a similar-ish conversation with the head of a very big airline literally on the weekend because they were saying about people being content and I said sometimes I'm envious of that feeling content because I can't. And it's not about business or money all the time. I just always want a challenge. And I think it's hard because you do get tired.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I struggled more when Otis was born, my son, because up until then it didn't feel selfish. You know, I was doing what I want to do when I want to do, and when I think of that business idea or that, I'm going to go and do it.
Yeah.
When you have children, as you know, you then start to. I don't know about you, but I started to feel guilt. Like I don't actually have to work, and I'm choosing to work.
Yeah.
Well, I could just be of Otis 24/7, but then that's not setting the right precedent. And it took me a little while anyway. I just got to the point where I accepted that I want him to see good role models. So it's important for me to give him a lot of time. And as you know, I give him a lot, like at least 50% of my time.
Yeah.
But it's actually okay to like want to be a better version of yourself. Because I've struggled with that, not feeling content. I was like, well, why? I'm seeing so-and-so over there. And I don't mean this disrespectfully for anyone listening, but they wake up, they go to work, they probably go to the gym, they put their child to bed, they go to bed, they wake up, and they look apparently content. Now, to me, I would just, I couldn't deal with it.
I couldn't either.
I think for me, it is about that, and I know I'm a bit. People that work with me sometimes struggle, but exercise is huge for me. I'm not shredded by any shape or means, but I always will exercise. Whether that's for me, an hour power walk, a gym session, football, whatever, climb a mountain, whatever it is, I have to exercise every day.
Yeah.
And that helps me when I'm feeling that overwhelmed, because I think most good entrepreneurs have ADHD as well. I do. I don't know about if you do or not, but I definitely have
something.
I have ADHD and I've autism, so my brain is like wired.
Yeah.
So if I don't exercise and if I don't read, and by anyone who listens saying I don't like reading, because I hear that a lot, well, you just train yourself. I didn't like reading. But actually,
I think it's the fact that they don't like reading as well. I think that's an excuse. I mean, it's the fact that they'll go, I haven't got the time. But then that's because they would rather flick through the phones rather than, I'll read 5 pages of a book a night.
I had a guy that works for me, so I'm not going to name him, but a guy that works for me the other day, he was struggling with some bits personally, not work-wise. He's great at work, but he was saying, I just have I was talking about his exercise and routines, so I just don't have time. By the time I work, put the kids to bed, blah, blah, blah. And I sat there with him. We all have, anyone listening, we all have 168 hours in a week, all of us. I said, I know you actually only sleep probably less than 6 hours, but we're going to assume you sleep 8 hours. And we're going to assume you want to spend 3 hours a day with your family, on average. We know you work 9-hour days, 5 days a week. So when we worked all of this out, even with me over-egging it, because he only sleeps 6 hours, he had 7 hours spare a day. I was like,
how's it going?
So when you tell me you haven't got time to read and you haven't got time to spend 30 minutes walking down a road to exercise, you're actually talking a load of nonsense, because you have 7 hours a day with me over-egging things. And it sounds like a really simple task, but that whole actually now, and we looked at it as far, I said, get me your phone. He's like, oh no, I'm his boss. This is probably HR, not a little bit right. I was like, give me your phone and I'll look at your phone. And that's where most of his hours went.
Yeah, phone. On the phone.
Netflix,
and it does.
Social medias. Yeah. And so I was like, you've got time. Even if you want to still spend 5 hours a day on that rubbish, like, just exercise and just read for 20 minutes. So what you said, what do you find is the biggest excuses when you're...
Everyone always struggles with time, always, and then their kids is a big thing. Now, I get it. I do get it, because it's so hard. And I've been a single mum for many, many years.
Yeah.
But I also don't see that as a big enough excuse either, because there is always time if you can find it, or if you're really regiment with your day-to-day.
Yeah.
So I completely get it's hard, so don't shoot me down. But I do think we can all make excuses.
It's weird you say that, because obviously I've done a lot in the beauty world, as you know, in terms of advising and sitting on stuff and speaking at events. And I actually semi-recently had a lady who watched me speak at, not your event, a different event. And she said, you said about us making excuses, but I've got 2 children and it's not an excuse. And I spoke to her privately, personally, and I said, look, I wasn't calling you out. I'm just saying, I'm a single dad, I've got divorced, and it's really hard when you've got, I don't know how many businesses I own a lot of businesses, and it is hard, but we all have that 168 hours.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I'm not saying it's easy, but we do all have the same time.
Yeah.
And it's about structure. Are your kids at school through the day? Yeah. Right. Okay. So what happens in those 6 hours? What happens? Is that used properly? So I got that. I noticed when you say shoot me down, I did get moaned at by one person about me saying it, but I was I wasn't calling out. It was just there's time.
And it's like, I'm like that with my children as well. Like, we have a very strict routine.
Yeah.
And, you know, at weekends and stuff, it goes all out the window. We'll all have fun. We won't have routines. They'll go to bed when they want. Like, we won't work. But when it comes to in the week, it's like, we'll get up at this time. We'll be at the house by this time. Then obviously we'll have work time. Then when they come home, it's like time with the children, dinner, bath, story, all of that stuff. And then, right, you know what time you finish, and then we'll get back to it if you need to get back to it.
Yeah.
Like, it was when, was it Molly May, when she said, we've all got the same 24 hours in a day, and everyone shot her down. And I was like, well, it's kind of true.
I do get it's really hard. It's that mindset, isn't it? And I think, coming back to your question about are you born as an entrepreneur, that's the bit I think is different, where you just are born to not accept no for an answer. So it's like, well, how do I make this work? I work with a lot of creatives. I've done a lot in the brand world and media world, and they're the worst at telling me they hate structure because it affects their creativeness. Oh, sorry for any creators listening. What a load of nonsense. I'm like, structure is freedom.
Yeah.
So just protect your creative time.
Yeah.
I was at a thing with a brew dog owner, James, sort of last summer, and he was saying to me that every other week he books himself out for 7 hours on one day in his office, non-analog, so no like computers, and he just is in there, doesn't want to be disturbed, and it's his, because he's a creative person. That's his creative time. But if he doesn't do that, he will never do it.
Yeah.
That's what I try and say to creatives. I'm busy single parents and stuff. Like, I know it's hard, but if you do create a structure, actually we all have the same time. Yeah. So it's just creating that. And I'm pulled from pillar to post. Like I said, I sit on a lot of different boards. I'm on charities. I buy properties. I buy businesses. So if I wanted to accept that and not have structure, I still feel a little bit like a headless chicken at times, but the only way I get done what I do is by having structure. Sounds like you're completely structured with the setup with family life. I
should be in the army. I'm so structured.
Yeah, but it does. Like I said, I believe it creates freedom. I mean, have you always been structured though?
Yeah, always.
What, as a child as well?
Yeah, my mum was very much like that as well. So we always had a routine. So I've just always built that in my children, but also in the businesses and my day to day, and it's just always worked for me. But I don't like going off that structure either. Yeah. But it means that, but then both of us have that freedom lifestyle, right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
So it's like we're very structured, but we have the freedom lifestyle, and that's, like you said, it's mostly because of that.
But I think so, because if you don't have structure, how do you have freedom?
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird because people probably look at my lifestyle sometimes, and a guy that phoned me yesterday, he was like, "How do you have the energy you have?" He's like, "Because every time you're in a different country or you're," and I was like, "It's because I protect it."
Yeah.
A structure, exercise is part of my work. It's like I said, some people think, well, I'm not allowed to do it. You are actually allowed to do that. You might work a 9 to 5, still have the hours before and after.
Yeah.
Or could you get a stand-up desk at work and move?
Yeah.
I bought stand-up desks for the whole of my office, and if any of them are listening to this, I'm calling you out. There's only 2 of them that actually use it, and their energy levels are so much better than anyone else's in there because they're just moving. And so for me, it's like, it is, I mean, I don't know if I have this energy forever, but I don't ever feel like I haven't got it. Like, I'm quite happy to, but it is that structure. And then when I want to go and fly to so-and-so to do a safari, then I'll bloody do it. It's as simple as that, but it is structure, which you probably don't understand, maybe even for yourself externally. We are very structured.
Yeah.
Might not seem it, but we are very structured and probably boring at times.
Yeah, most probably people will feel that. But when you're at the gym, are you listening to a podcast or are you listening to normal music or nothing?
I found I go through phases. So years ago, I used to just listen to music, like weird. I actually work out better with just generic music I like, not the whole gym pumped up one. Then I, for some reason, couldn't. I then went to podcasts. I tried the whole audiobooks. Couldn't do what I like to. I just like opening a page.
Yeah,
it's pointless for an audiobook to me. It just goes in one ear and out the other. So I went to podcasts for about 4 years, and whatever happened to me recently, don't know what, I just couldn't do it again. So now I'm back onto music, but now I go against what I used to be, and now I'm listening to that like upbeat gym music. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if people's brains change, but I've gone through. I have to have sound. I'm like that as a person, though. I have to have, even in an office, people might think I might be not quiet. I'm not quiet, but I'm very focused. But if I don't have noise around me, I struggle to focus.
Oh, see, I'm the complete opposite. In the gym, I have to listen to a podcast. I still have to feel like I'm working. It's weird. Yeah. I get so creative if I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my time. But then when I'm at work and my kids and my fiance find it hilarious because I have to be in silence. And everyone's like, you're so odd. I'm like, it has to be silent. So if they come through the door, if I'm working from home, and there's noise, I'm like, you guys need to get out. You need to get out. I need to be so focused.
Our brains, I think the important part is everyone's brain is so different. And it's like, you've probably done a lot of trial and error to understand, the same as me, a lot of trial and error to understand it. And I actually conflict. I think growing up, my mum wondered if I'd live a normal life because of my autism, and I wouldn't talk when I was young. I'd sit under tables to eat and stuff. I wouldn't talk. But when I wanted to be free, I established, I need to learn to live in normal life if I'm gonna. So I conflict a lot. Like I need noise for that, but sleep, silence, pitch black and silence. Any noise, I will not sleep. So it's weird. But then when I'm working, this is something I've only figured out in the last year. Is if I'm in my own office, because I do need that. When I say I need the buzz, sometimes I don't want distractions. There's a buzz, and then there's my staff asking me a question every 2 minutes. Buzz. That's not the buzz I want. So I will work in my own office. But something I figured out recently is I actually listen to like jazz music or classic. I don't even like classical music.
Piano music is really good.
Classical music. Like I said, I don't actually like classical music, but I've randomly, one of my mates told me to give it a go.
Is that an autistic thing?
I think so.
Because I know a select few of us that love classical music. Yeah. And my daughter's autistic and she has to do piano music.
Yeah, I did piano growing up. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe it is just...
I think so, because I've tried to understand. I've been really boring. You heard me say this before, but I've always wanted to learn about the brain and how people make decisions and why. And I think it is an autistic thing. Hence why I tried it you'd thought I would have tried it by now. But I just thought I'm really struggling to focus. I've never struggled to focus. But I don't mind saying on here, I've had a really tough year. Not business-wise, but personally. I got divorced and then I've suddenly got to give up 50% of my time with a child that I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I want Otis 170% of the time, not 50%. Yeah. So for me, that was incredibly hard. So I found my focus was being affected, and that's why I tried it. And what's like? I don't know what happens to my brain, but I sit in my office on my own, classical music's on, and the staff, like my guys, if I go and sit up in their main office, sometimes I pop it on still, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "So I'll focus." Like, it's really weird. Something I've genuinely figured out in the last year. So I never tried it before. And it was purely one of my friends who's a doctor. They just said, oh, give this a go. And I gave it a go. And then, it's weird. I'll just go in this zone and I'm in it for however long. But yeah, I did the piano. So I think it is an autistic. I think the sound is an autistic thing. Like I said, I need to focus, I normally need some form of sound. But the podcast thing is something I've felt the same. I said I feel like learning. That's why I went into podcasts. But I still listen to podcasts. But now when I drive,
driving.
whereas the gym, I've been replaced it again. My brain is always moving.
Yeah.
Like honest, like so again that person who I said who's from a big airline. I probably shouldn't name them in case I contradict anything. But they were saying people pay good money to see how your brain works. I was like, bloody. When I say Otis is a jarred wasp, I am also a jarred wasp.
Yeah.
All over the place. That is how my brain works.
I mean, that's helped you get as successful as you are today, though, as well, right?
Well, like I said, I think ADHD is a superpower.
Oh, bloody super! I say it to everyone, it's a superpower.
It is. Like,
anything like that.
If you figure out to harness it.
Yeah.
I think people struggle when they don't understand how to like make it work for them. But if you can figure out how to use ADHD, this is why I don't really like labelling.
Yeah,
I
me
think,
neither.
I don't want to go into a whole other subject, but the way we with youngsters want to just label them as ADHD or this autism or that autism, they're bloody kids.
Yeah.
Right? Let them figure out. If I got labelled with something as a kid, which I knew I had, then you create excuses for it. Whereas for me, it's a pretty tough world, and lots of I've had trauma in this life already that most people haven't experienced in their whole life. So if you allow excuses to take over, then you're going to go anywhere.
No, exactly.
So I think if you harness ADHD, I can't believe that Elon Musk hasn't got it. Like, Christ, if you think about the most successful people in the world, they're just a bit weird, really. A bit different to like...
Tapped a different way, aren't we?
Different, yeah. And I'm not putting myself in the same stratosphere as Elon Musk in terms of like ability or anything like that or wealth. But I just mean successful people just are willing to be different or they're comfortable with being different. They might not realise it, but they're comfortable that they're going to be different.
Yeah, definitely. You're really big on mindset as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think more because of my childhood. I realised that I could have just accepted the way my brain worked and like not been free. But when I was in boardrooms at 16 of some of the biggest companies in the world, if I didn't have the right mindset, I'd never been there.
No.
Like, so I am not the cleverest person on paper. IQ levels, people far cleverer than me. But I will swear, but I just know how to get shit done. And I think if I didn't have that mindset, and you always learn, I think, about where your brain can go. Yeah. But even if I rewind to I'd done a bike ride. I'd done like 14 challenges in 10 months, and one of them was an 80-mile bike ride. I've never been on a road bike in my life until that morning. I've cycled, but I've never been on a road bike, never used cleats and stuff like that. And my friend's mum was like, "You're mental," that morning. So my little practice was 20 seconds before we went on.
Oh my gosh.
And at 20 miles, I was like stuffed. My body was, because there's no muscle memory. I've never done it. So it's different if I played football or climbed a mountain. I know I've got muscle memory, so it might be hard, but your body gets you there a little bit. I was 20 miles, I was stuffed. And then I just really thought about when my sister was trying to live. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I saw how hard she tried to live. I can go and do another 60 miles. And again, I went into that zone and done it. So I think business and personal life, mindset's the difference between being successful or happy, or both.
What do you think then you can do to work on your mindset to get it strong for when we're in business?
I think I come back to what I've already sort of spoke about. Exercise. I don't care. Like, there is some unhealthy successful people, but they normally fall off or die. Yeah. So or health. I say exercise. Health is like big. Yeah. And I don't mean being woo all that nonsense about this. And I'm just on about, do you do enough to look after yourself daily? And I talk about like three. People hear me say it a lot, but like, do 3 things for you every single day without fail. Yeah. And one of those is always got to be exercise. The other one is a bit of like, and I say grounding work, but that is a lot of different things. That could be reading, that could be I would call the hippie type of grounding, if you like that version. There's lots of different ways to ground yourself. It doesn't have to just be one way.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is the hardest, I think, in English or Western society, is just surround yourself with the right people. And I'd say that's the hardest, but it genuinely is, because people are so afraid of being honest.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, there's so many fake relationships. And I think you will see it, you will know people now that have a lot of fake relationships, pretend friendships. They're not deep, they're not meaningful, and they're fake. They might not think they're fake, but they're fake.
Yeah.
Actually, just protect your energy. Like, would you trust that person to really be loyal to you? And if they're not worth your time. I'm not saying you be rude and discount them, but you only need 5 good or 1 good person. You only need genuine loyalty.
I'll say they're lucky, right? If you even have 5 loyal friends.
And that's what you need. And I think what we've got because of social medias again and in Western world, we've just got so many fake relationships. And I see it in the business world, especially small businesses.
Yeah.
There's so much bitchiness. And I don't get it. Big business is not so much. Small
I've found
business.
that more the last couple of years as well, especially going in the coaching space, and actually was going to put me off going in that space because it was like so bitching. That's not me whatsoever. Like, come from a bullying background, I was like, I don't want any of that stuff like in my circle, and I find it really, really difficult. But I've had to make sure that I'm super like focused on who my tribe are and who I can trust, and I have a very, very small circle, even though it doesn't look like it.
No, I think loyalty is a big.
I think massive for me.
I got asked to be on a TV show relatively recently, and they went out to like loads of people that knew me, friends and family, and they asked to describe me in 3 words. 100% of them said loyal and honest. The third one always changed, but the loyalty is massive for me. If there's no loyalty, and you say it's the coaching world, you're right. There's a lot of it. Small businesses, there's a lot of it, and sometimes I am not unrelatable, but I think certain small business owners sometimes find me unrelatable because I just don't get involved, and I'm quite happy to call someone out. So if I'm in a room and this person's slagging someone else off, they're nice to their face, I will actually call them out on it and be like, what are you doing? And I've done it to a gentleman relatively recently. He speaks quite badly of me nowadays. I've done it to a guy relatively recently, about 18 months ago, and he just does it all the time. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, you know how hard it is to create a business. So why? And I think when we're talking about how we look after our mindset, I think that's exercise and reading and grounding techniques are actually quite easy to do if you want to do it. Like, not say you want to do it, want to do it.
Yeah.
The circle on your energy is a bit harder because, like I said, it's society and people don't like to be honest. And I think sometimes people that know me well, no, I'm just transparent. People that externally don't know me might think like, oh, well, is he being rude? No, I'm not. I just know you're a liar.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give you any time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And even with family, it's really hard, right? You think, oh, I've got to like go and do this, or I've got to go around to this house, or I've got to spend time with these people because of my family. And I'm like, oh, they're also the wrong circle. Like,
I think family's really hard, isn't it?
It's so hard.
I think this autism is a little bit good for me, or bad at times in relationships. It can be good and bad, autism. I don't like to use the word bad, but it makes it challenging.
Yeah.
In a way, people that have known me for my life have had to learn, I'm just going to say it how it is. Like, so if I feel you're being unfair to a family member, to a friend, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I won't be rude, and I'm not going to do it in front of people, but I will tell you, like, you're being a bit of an idiot. So, like, pull your socks up, or I ain't going to talk to you. And I think I learned with my sister when, again, she died, she did do something that I didn't agree with to someone in my circle, and I didn't speak to her for a while, and it was really hard. In hindsight, if I knew she was going to die, that would never have happened.
Yeah, of course.
It is hard, but you do have to protect your energy, and if you don't, you're never going to improve your mindset, because every time I know you're so, anything I've ever seen about you, you're very well liked on things. But I'm sure, no doubt, you have people that moan about you that don't know about you.
Yeah, of course.
That don't know you.
Yeah.
And that's the bit about the energy. If you let those things affect you, then you're never going to be happy. So you've got to accept that when you start to try and improve yourself, some people around you don't want you to improve yourself. They want you to do well, but not that well.
Yeah, there's always sometimes that bit of jealous streak with people, isn't there? Of, oh, it's so great you're doing well. And it's like, is it great I'm doing well? Or is there like it's funny, like it's when you do hit that certain level of success as well, you see less than, like more people that will be less in your circle because they can't handle that success.
It's quite a sad, and it's not actually just monetary success, it's success in elite sports. And you see it, as soon as someone goes outside what we consider the norm, you get judgment. And I think I've done a talk on fear. I think you've seen my talk on fear, but I don't know. But I've done a talk on fear last Wednesday, or maybe the Wednesday before, anyway. And I said a line in there, and it could be perceived as arrogant for people who don't know me, but I said in this line, like, obviously leaders tend to be scared because it's like, well, they're a public figure. Doesn't matter if you're in a one-man van company or a very big company with 200 staff. You're a public figure then. And they start to get scared of, what do people think about me? What if they don't like this? So I was saying in this, I do this at work, not just a talk, you've got to lead with value. And if you know you're a good person and you know you're giving good value, then who gives a crap what anyone else thinks? And I said, this is the line that could be perceived badly, but I said, like, if people don't like me, I actually feel sorry for them because I know what I do for people. I know how much I help people. I know the charities I supported. And like, so actually, there's nothing bad. I've never done anything bad, never been dodgy. So I feel more sorry for them because I know they're embarrassed about themselves.
Yeah,
and I know that sounds really harsh and could come across as arrogant.
I don't think
it's not arrogant. It's just like, I know I'm a good person, and I think if you want to have a good mindset, you have to have that attitude of like, am I good? Am I going to give good value? And am I being honest? And if those things matter, that you're ticking them, who gives a crap what anyone else says?
Yeah. I think it does take like you to be strong to think that, especially with social media and everything. And we have to, show our faces quite a lot and all of that. And lots of people will hold back on doing that because of always what other people think.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with me as well, I had to do that more and more and more and create this personal brand, which I feel like I've smashed.
Well, it's
like,
great. I even said to you about your pens when I was at your event. I was like, everything is on point. Your whole branding is great.
Definitely. But if I stopped myself like I would have tried years ago, we would never be where we are today. But I think instead of thinking, oh, what if this person thinks this, or they might think that, or I can't say this because I'm going to hurt someone, like, as soon as you know majority of people that are hearing your stuff is going to help, then the rest of it goes out the window.
It is,
like, do
value.
not care. Yeah.
I guess obviously you know the beauty world far better than me. So, and especially now you've been doing the coaching side in the beauty world. I guess you see a lot of that side more. Well, it might be other problems, but I guess you see a lot of that. People are scared of putting themselves out there. But in the beauty world, you actually need to. So,
yeah, we see it all the time where people just can't do it, or they just can't do it. Or some people love it, and but I think it just takes time to get used to it. And actually, when they start seeing the rewards, they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I do have to do this." I just think nowadays there's so many businesses anyway. Like we're all creating
there's thousands in any industry.
Exactly. And obviously the rise of AI, like everything is just losing itself. So it's like, well, as soon as you start putting your face to things, that is going to make everything more humanized again. People want to know a human's still behind things and it's not just a robot behind it.
Unfortunately, some of those robots now are humans.
I noticed. How scary is that?
It's a bit scary. I spoke at that AI conference a couple of weeks ago in Malaga, and the person before me showed a not real person, but very real Instagram person. Completely, not real. And then my friend was with me like, oh my God, how do I know who I'm following is real or not? I was like, well, unless you met them, You probably don't know.
Yeah, which is why personal branding is so important now, right? Because then you know, like, okay, that person's real.
Yeah.
Someone said to me, "Are you not terrified that the coaching industry is going to like go because of AI?" And I was like, a lot of it is going to be wiped. Yeah, but actually, people still need that human connection. They need that real person.
Yeah. And how do you get people to get on that? I'm intrigued because obviously, again, in the beauty world, I know that physical presence is important, or branding, personal branding is important. How do you get them to just get on a camera and just talk to and get used to it?
A lot of the time, it's just like egging them on to do it. In my mastermind, we'll do mini challenges.
Yeah.
So I might go, right, guys, this week, let's try and do 3 faced cams. And then I might give them subjects on what they could do it on. So they've got an idea of what they could go face to cam on.
So then you get that competitive nature as well then. Because like, if you've got a mastermind group, they're like, well, I can't not do it because so-and-so is going to do it.
Yeah. And obviously there's some that were like, still like, no, I can't do that. But majority of them will give it a go. And then they realise after doing it for a few weeks, actually, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
And I'll always be like, post it and go. Don't go and watch it back because you're going to go, oh, this part of me doesn't look good, or I stuttered over that word, or whatever that might be. But I'm just like, post it, go.
Yeah.
Like, no one really likes the perfect stuff anyway. And especially in our world as well, where everyone thinks we need filters, makeup, hair, all the things before we go on. Or actually, when I end up getting in a rant or something happens and I'm in my pajamas and no makeup on, which, takes time to get to that point to be, I don't really care.
Get really comfortable.
Like, people love it.
Yeah.
Because, oh, she is real.
It's the authentic side, isn't it? I think that's hard. I think people assume I like being on camera or photos, and anyone that knows me well knows I don't. Because I don't. I just have to let them because I know it's the personal brand. I know I have to be. So it's something with my natural, as when I was a child, when I wouldn't even talk. Like,
I know, it's pretty incredible, really.
It's not natural for me to be in front of a camera, but I understand the importance of people seeing the real person. And you do just get used to it. You might never like heights. I'm terrified of heights, but I keep doing things that make me, I don't know, become less scared, but more used to it. So yeah, I'm still as scared of heights as I've ever been, but I'm just used to getting on a plane.
Yeah.
And used to doing certain things. So I think that's what it is, isn't it?
You're not going to let something stop you, which is why I think we're mostly built different than a lot of the population. Because some people will have fear and then they'll just be like, no, I'm scared of that, I'm not doing it. And straight away it's shut down. Even when it comes to flying, people don't like flying. So I'll go on holiday very, very rarely. Whereas we might be like, oh, a bit scared of flying, but I'm not going to let us stop us get to that destination.
I honestly hate flying. But you never know. If you come on a plane with me, you wouldn't know. I'm terrified. I've even done flying lessons last year.
Really?
And actually, I was all right. It was actually better flying, I think. I don't know why. But I did flying lessons. So actually, but I'm still petrified of flying. So it's weird. You're right. I just don't like, I think I say a lot, I don't like the word no. And even to I'm not actually competitive with anyone other than myself.
That's so weird you say that. Like, put me in front of, like, I don't know, a board game or a race or something like that. I'm like, I don't really care. Like, my partner is so competitive. It's hilarious. Like, he will get in a strop if he wouldn't win and all of that stuff. Whereas I'm not like that whatsoever. But tell me no on something, it's not happening.
I'm probably lying a little bit. I'm very competitive at Monopoly. But outside of Monopoly, it's more me. I don't like losing to someone if I know they're not as good as me. Now, if I'm playing football, which I love, I know I'm not the best. So I'm very competitive in terms of like, I want to play the best I can play, but I don't get fussed if so-and-so is better than me or they beat us. Because to be honest, as long as I know I'm done whatever I can do, that's my competitive nature. So it's the same in business. If someone says no, it's like, well, actually, no, that doesn't exist. But Monopoly I am. I have like thrown tactical strops on Monopoly. So I win. I don't give. So that's a little bit of a lie. That one I am.
That's mostly because it's a little bit like a business.
It's property. I love property. So like, I'm not losing. I know it sounds really weird, but I do think some of the skills I learned were from Monopoly as a kid, because I played it from so young with my parents and family that genuinely, I think I must have been at 10, 11, I cried because my dad wouldn't sell me Bond Street. I still remember. So, and obviously, so you're negotiating skills with Monopoly. I think it's a really good game because
that's so
you
funny.
start negotiating at a very young age. And obviously at the time, I knew if I didn't get that bond straight, I couldn't win this game. My autistic brain was looking at the board thinking, I can't win this without that because of the ones I owned. And I pretended, I did cry, but it was a put on cry. I cried to make him feel bad for me. So then my dad sold it to me for an inflated price, and then I won. So I was like,
that's so fun. I don't like Monopoly, yet Lola Rose absolutely loves it, and she wants to play it all the time. And I'm like, oh my God.
I do actually think I learned a lot. I know it sounds really silly, but I think I learned a lot.
No, see, that's so
because
true.
you just start negotiating and stuff. And like I said, I wouldn't accept a draw because some people get a bit bored, don't they? Like, oh, let's just call it a draw. If you want to retreat, and I will accept the win, but we're not drawing.
Yeah.
Like I will win. So there's no draw in this. I'm pretty proud. I've only lost once in my life, so I'm just a bit annoying. But
Top pro there.
I have lost. That's better than most of my other awards.
That's so funny. When it comes to, so I listened to a podcast the other day actually, and it was all about focus.
Yeah.
Working on one thing. It was Alex Panayi, it was really good, like really, really good. And I've always got my things in multiple pies and stuff, and I've always been like, imagine what it would be just having one business and just having all that focus in one business. Which I'd say I'd done when I first started, obviously, and then when that starts running on its own, start another one. You've got obviously loads of things going on with businesses, investments, and all of that. So how do you manage all of that?
I think part of it comes back to what I've said a few times, that autistic side of it. There's a natural ability to just. I think a lot of people in my life, and some of the closest people to me who probably will listen to this, they know the trauma. Not that my sister died, and that's obviously a terrible trauma, but there's a lot of trauma that's happened in my life along with business, and they just have no idea how to do it. They can't get their head around it. So sometimes I don't think I can really explain it. There's a natural ability to just be able to focus.
Yeah.
But it comes back to some of the things I've already said, that creating space for me, because if I schedule time, and you've got to be protective because I'm quite a yes man. I like to help. Like at charity, I'm a nightmare. I always want to help.
Yeah.
So what I learned a long time ago when I was quite young is actually by saying yes to everything doesn't actually help me. So let's set clear parameters. I want to be a non-exec on as many businesses as I can because I know the value I can give, and it's wins for me as well. So if they end up quadrupling in value, then it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But there has to be set parameters in terms of what I can give them. Can I give them an hour? Can I give them 10 hours a month? Can I just give them unlimited WhatsApp? WhatsApp's huge in business. I know you're going to Dubai. That's all done in Dubai is WhatsApp. Could I actually just give them an unlimited WhatsApp? Because actually that's not that invasive of my time if it's just a yes or a no. So it's just setting really clear parameters and like coming back to that structure, being really boring and saying, right, that hour, I'm not doing anything before 10 a.m. because before 10 a.m. it's Otis time and gym. So up to 10 a.m. But then certain days I do have meetings at like every other Thursday I have a 7 a.m. thing I do. So yeah, it's just structure. I think that's the only way, because if I didn't have structure, I'd be useless. Like I've even struggled. I had a bit of my chest cut out last week. Was it a week? Oh, it was a week ago. So I've actually really struggled the last week in focus because I've only walked. So I'm not really, I can't really do anything strenuous because of the stitches. And the annoying thing about a chest is like any movement you do, you'll move some part of your chest. So even I've noticed in the last week, my focus has gone. Not gone completely, but really suffered because I'm just not structured. Because normally my morning routine is Otis and then exercise. So then I think you've heard me say about this before, like I've stacked so many wins before I do anything in the day.
Yeah.
That I don't really get distracted because I've already done what I need to do for me. So actually the next 2 hours is for this. And like I said, it's a bit boring to some people. People look at my diary and be like, everything's diarised. But yeah, if it ain't diarised, then I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it.
No.
I did have a good PA before, not anymore. I'm pretty difficult for my PA because I just, like I said, I like to do so much.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty difficult for PAs as well. So for me, it's like creating my own structure. And being really clear on parameters, because I've done some non-exec stuff before, early days, and I just said yes to everything. And then I realised I can't really give them focused time if it's yes to everything. So it's like, do you know what? Every Thursday, there's one I'd worked with until recently. Every Thursday at 10 a.m. we'll have an hour. And that for that company, that was the right decision.
Yeah.
For another person, they could are useless at that because they're like bloody headless chickens. So what's best for them is WhatsApp. Just ping me a message as and when you got somebody you want to ask me. So it's just, that's how I do it. But I do sometimes sometimes I do take a step back and think, I'm pretty good with this 168 hours.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn good with it. I don't know how I do it, because let's remember, Otis gets 50% of my time. So 50% of my 168 hours has gone to sleep or Otis.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have as much time as other people in a week, but I'm really good with it.
Yeah, it's just being strict with it, isn't it? My book is now out. It's called Get Off the Tools, and it's a #1 bestseller. No matter what stage you're at in business, this is for you. It's honestly changing people's lives with the amount of knowledge and learning that is inside this book. You also get access to a free toolkit, which is really exciting to help you grow your business even more, but you only get that if you have the book. If you've already read the book, I would really appreciate your reviews on Amazon. It really helps us as authors to be able to sell more books and get this book out there as far, as wide as possible. So head over to Amazon and either buy yours or give it a review. Click below in the show notes to go and grab the link.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not always perfect. It's like when I finished those challenges, I got an injury. Well, not an injury. I think it was just my body had enough. And I had like trapped nerve, which I never had before. My body was just hurting. So again, for 6 weeks, I weren't allowed to do any exercise. And again, my focus went, my energy was just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
So I've noticed with me, exercise is heavily linked with my focus.
And that morning routine, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that is Otis and all working out. But I think anyone with that morning routine that can set them up for the day is like gold.
It's just your way to win.
Yeah.
Like before you've left the house, because unfortunately in schools now, I know you're going to Dubai, so that's much better education. But unfortunately in schools now, when they're not taught about the real world, the real world's pretty damn hard.
Yeah.
So having a morning routine where, even as boring as it sounds, making my bed, well, not at the moment, but doing press-ups, having a shower, having your teeth, you should always brush your teeth, but you know, those little bits, they might sound really mundane and like, well, everyone should do these things.
Yeah.
But just have these like things that you know that you do every single morning.
Yeah, you're non-negotiables.
And you've won. You've got 10, 20 wins. So when you leave and the real world hits you, you're already having a good day. So, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but don't avoid the hard stuff. This is the run-of-the-mill people that work for me. They always like to leave the hard stuff to the end. Do the hard stuff first.
100%.
Because your day can only get better then.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like with the doing hard stuff first and that morning routine, like life can be shit, right? There's things that get chucked at us all of the time. So when then bad things do happen, it's still going to hurt or you're still going to dip you, but at least I do feel like there's an armor that goes on you when you've done all of those things. So then things don't hit you as hard. Yeah,
it's that resilience. Back to the start of the conversation, the resilience levels are tough now, but that's because I think people try and hide. Just do it. Do the hard stuff first. It might be pretty rubbish, but then actually the good thing then is the rest of the day can be nicer.
Yeah.
Like I said, and look, we all do it. When I know I've got a tough conversation to have with someone, I don't really want to do it. But obviously anyone that works for me and knows me well, I'm from the day they know me, I'm very clear to them. I'm going to be direct.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it, but there's only for good reasons. So you can pull me up. If you don't like the way I've said something to you or how I've delivered it, tell me. But I will always remain honest. And I love that. You know, I had a guy that works for me last Friday or Thursday, and he sent me a WhatsApp about something he wasn't, not to do with me, but within the business he wasn't comfortable with. Now, other business owners or managers wouldn't like that because they'd be like, oh, it's not his place. I replied to him saying, thanks, you know, I appreciate the fact you're telling me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with him or do what he wants, but like, I like that. Just be open with me and be willing to have a hard conversation. Because unfortunately now, I try not to alienate myself, but in England, people just like to moan for the sake of moaning.
Yeah, they do. There's a real moan and blame culture as well. Blame culture.
Terrible.
Oh my God, I hate it.
I had someone, I talk about the coaching space. This is the first time this has ever happened to me was this year. I worked with thousands of people in my career, and someone asked for a refund on their mentorship thing this year. And I do a non-refundable thing, quite clear there. And I do that from the outset. It's non-refundable because I know the value I give.
Yeah, 100%.
So we have probably 3 or 4 meetings before they get on board. More importantly, because I can make sure I can actually deliver what they want. That's why I do it. I know there's other mentorship or coaching platforms where you just sign up and one size fits all. Mine's like one-to-one, very personal.
Yeah.
So I have a few meetings, probably at least 3 hours worth with them before I agree to work with them. So I know, do I like this person? Can I give them what they want? And will they be able to do what they want? Not just can I give them, can I do it? And this people turned around to me semi-recently, literally like within the last 2 months, and were like, oh, could we have a refund because we don't think that we're going to get what we want from it? And I was like, what's actually happened is they wanted to know one bit of thing in the property world. And the thing is, the reason why I specifically don't do non-refundable, because some of the stuff I will give you is worth more than the fee alone, just one conversation. So that's why it's non-refundable. And I was quite direct with them. It actually upset me because it's never happened. But I'm like, look, I don't. But this bit of information I gave you is worth far more, probably quadruple what I charged you. So why are you trying to get a refund? And it's quite personal because it's like, it's me.
Yeah.
That's the first time it happened, and it really is a blame culture. What's really happened is they got what they wanted and they don't want to invest the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. But that blame culture in England, you wouldn't see this anywhere else. They look at value.
Yeah.
Successful people and other countries would never do that. They'd be like, okay, the value's there, so like, let's make sure I can get even more. Yes, I may have got what I want, but what else can I get from Charlie? I worked with men. I had someone mentor me a few years ago because he knew something I didn't want, that I didn't know. Sorry, technically in the property world, I know more than him, but what he knew, I didn't know. So I phoned him and I said, like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "It's 12 grand," and I'll tell you. And I was like, all right. Now, what I needed to know took me 3 hours to learn. But I've got a whole year with this guy for 12 grand. So rather than me be a little bit like these people recently, be like, oh, well, I've got what I want. Let's try and get some money back.
Exactly.
I said to him, look, I've got what I want out of this. So what else could I get from you? And he went through some other things that I didn't know he'd done outside of property. Like he buys schools and things like that. I was like, brilliant. Like that you can never stop learning in either. So the next 11 months I spent with this guy sometimes just having a chat.
Yeah,
but
just immersing yourself.
Just learning what he does, because, I'm not saying I do everything he would do, but what I did learn from this guy was a lot of things that were actually probably minutes to learn, but who knows how long I even spoke to you recently, I hope you don't mind me saying, about coming on board one of the companies I'm buying. Yes, I've done a lot more in business world, but equally, stuff I will never know. Or, well, I say we'll never know, probably will, but like,
you will once we have this
how
conversation.
How long will it take me to get there? So rather than me be arrogant and think like, oh, well, I've got what I want, I'm like, well, and I will learn from anyone. Someone living on the street, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I remember a guy that worked for me as an apprentice years ago. He wrote something in our group chat, and I loved it. And I said, I'm going to use that at my next talk. He's like, and he was like, so like, really? He was like so happy with himself. I was like, yeah, love it.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll even credit it to you when I say it.
Yeah.
He was like, his name's Henry. And he couldn't believe it. He went home that night and he sent me this huge message about how thankful he was that I brought that up in a meeting. I learned from you, so I don't know why you're thanking me.
It's constant learning. I think it's very being closed-minded when people go, oh no, I know everything, or I'm not going to learn anything from that, or I've done this program and I didn't really learn much. I'm like, what? Like, I bet you can learn something from everyone. And it depends how much you value that, because there might be something that you pick up there and then, don't actually implement, but might implement it years later on and be like, oh, That's where I learned that from.
It's arrogance, isn't it? This company I'm purchasing at the moment that you're going to come on board with, I know the skills you have could help me, rather than take 2 years to get to where it needs to be, maybe even in less than a year. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the important bit. You can learn from anyone.
Yeah.
And rather than trying to have the share of a whole pie. And I know I do go on tangents as the way I work, but like it was tough when you get that. And I think it's just that blame culture. It's just like, oh, come on. And then I was like, I've worked with thousands of people and I've got thousands of reviews.
Yeah.
So like, you come on, just tell me as it is. You just want to try and get a refund.
Yeah. And I say that all the time, even if there's salons in my salon, and I was like, if, I don't know, there was just a complaint from a client, or we have to pull someone up, a staff member, and then they will blame someone else and the manager will go, okay. And I'll be like, it's just blame culture. Like, they're just doing blame culture. It happens on the most smallest scales to the biggest scales. Yeah. And you just go, once you start realising that, I think you can handle things better as well.
And I think from an employee perspective, it's quite hard to hear though. Because again, me being a direct person, it's good and bad. So all my staff, I always say, there's a flat line to me. Like, if you want to message me, message me. It's not the case that you have to go through my managers and stuff. Like, if you want to talk to me. So that's good and bad, by the way, because sometimes people will message me absolute nonsense and I want to tell them where to go. I've got to be a bit more professional. But it's hard for them to see when I say, look, just stop feeling sorry for yourself. They get offended. And I'm like, but that is what you're doing. Yeah. You're just feeling sorry for yourself. Pull your big boy pants up. Or there's a lady I work with that actually likes me to tell her to pull her big girl pants up. And I said, just pull your pants up and like bloody get on with it. Yeah. Like, life ain't easy. And sometimes you ain't going to like everything. But as long as you enjoy more of it, that's the important part.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I find it really hard. And Dubai, where, like I said, you're going very imminently, is just such a refreshing world for me, because it's like, it's not really there.
No.
People take accountability. Even if it's not their fault, they take accountability. Sometimes it's a bit like, well, it's on me. Yeah. But what is so refreshing, and especially for your little one, you know, that culture's gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully it doesn't ever form there. But
hopefully not.
It's just actually, how can we help each other?
Yeah,
how
definitely.
can we get better? How do we learn from each other? Like, you might see someone nick a vape from their parent. That's the worst you're going to see. You ain't going to see what I was doing, and maybe you. I was at the park at 14 drinking and climbing. I don't think I can get in trouble for this, but climbing in building sites and, you know, all those bits and bobs. Just driving tractors when you weren't meant to, and that. Yeah, all of these things we used to do that in Dubai, it just doesn't happen. They're like, it's cool to be good at what you do, whether that's sport or intellectual things. Like, it's cool. So I think
I'm really looking forward to that with the kids and stuff. Like, just a completely different mindset that they'll be brought up with that they won't even realise.
Just have a whole different world. And obviously, I know it must be scary, irrelevant of how successful you are. You've got I know your partner's completely changing career path.
Bless him.
Little ones, by the sounds of it, I spoke to one of them. They're quite excited, luckily. Yeah. But you know, I don't know about if they always are, but they're excited. So that's one lucky part. Yeah. But it must be scary.
I think I'm more scared than anything. Anyway. I think that they think, it's all right, Mum's got it together, Kate's got it together, Luke's just leaving everything up to me. And I'm like, we haven't even got anywhere to live.
I know, you said that to me before we come on here.
We're going to an Airbnb, we'll figure it out when we're there. If I was like, what? I think, yeah, Mum's got it under control.
Do you know what though? But Dubai is a bit weird like that though. That is actually quite normal, just going.
It's so normal.
Go up in an Airbnb for a couple of weeks and figure it out. I mean, it's weird because here that would be like pure panic station. It's like, I got nowhere to live in 2 weeks. In Dubai, that's quite normal. They'll be like, it'll
be fine. You just extend the Airbnb if it comes to it, don't you? I'll find another one. Just go to a hotel.
I'm intrigued as well because it's quite, from a personal standpoint, and people I know around me, they struggle to make that decision. They might want to go to Dubai or Portugal or Monaco or wherever, I don't know, wherever. But they don't make that decision. They keep making excuses to stay in England. And I'm not bad-mouthing England. It's just they moan about wanting to leave and they never leave.
Yeah.
What helped you make the actual decision?
I just never wanted to be in that exact position where I'm going to be older and then be like, I wish I'd done that. I never want to look back on my life and go, I wish I'd done that. And the only way to do that is just for what life you want. And so many people have excuses. I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's like, but why? Like, okay, it's always been my dream to move there. Everyone knows that. For the last 12 years, I've always wanted to move there.
You've always been clear about that.
I've always been clear that that's what I want to do. But actually, the excuse was I couldn't because of Lola Rose's dad at the time.
Right, okay.
So that would have been something that we wouldn't have been able to do. But he's not in the picture now, so see you later,
really?
we're off. So then that's great. So, and it is great. Like, that's a completely different story. It's definitely great. So we're able to do that, but that would have been the only thing that ever stopped us going.
Right.
So then when people go, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this, unless it's because of obviously,
specific reason, genuine
family specific reasons, of course. Otherwise, I do believe you can create the life you want.
Yeah.
Like, you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it and you're like, do you know what? Feel the fear, but fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
People find manifestation a bit cheesy, and a manifestation can be done in different ways as far as I'm concerned, and they find it cheesy. People that don't do it find it cheesy. I'm like, you've seen before, everything of me has Otis on. Everything. My phone cover, my screensaver, my lock screensaver, my laptop screensaver, because everything I do is for Otis. And manifestation you can create whatever you want. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to happen easily, but you can do what you want. And I live like you. I've been a nightmare for my mum. No, we both got children. So I must be a nightmare for my mum, because from a kid, I've said to her, I don't think I made this saying, but I'm not going to claim to. I always said I want to die with like memories, not dreams. I said that from what she said as young as 7, that I said that to her. Don't know why I said, but anyway, I did. And that's how I've lived. And it's been very full on. I've done some dangerous, I've worked in Colombia and Brazil and other countries, and not safe times, but I said to my mum, I might get hit by a car. A really sad story while we're sat here today, not that most of your listeners probably don't like football, but Diego Jota that plays for Liverpool just had a car crash earlier and died. He's 28, being paid multi-million pounds, just won the league, won the Nations League with his country. So life is as good as it could possibly get for him, and he's died today. And so I've always lived that way. I don't want to be on my deathbed.
I've always said, my thing's always like, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I always say that.
You could.
Like, and the thing is, it's, things happen and it is true. But then when I do hear that when people do obviously pass away and die, and obviously you've had it with your sister and everything, which has been awful. And we can mention that as well, because there's obviously lots of female following. It's like, when I do hear that someone's passed away, I'm like, I always think, imagine what stress they would have been feeling yesterday. With before they knew they was going to pass, right? What issues were they going through in life? Like, were they stressing about finances? Were they worried about their friend that didn't call them? Like, all the things that they would have been worried about. And then the next minute you're gone. And to me, I find that like the most scariest thing, because I'm like, I don't want to die like that.
I think that's why, again, coming when people struggle to understand me sometimes. They think I'm I am a pretty chilled guy, to be fair. I'm pretty relaxed considering what I've got going on in my world. And I think my sister probably made me worse. I mean, I was already pretty bad for my mum, now even worse. Because she was obviously 26 and, she had 2 little boys, and she died in 55 days after finding out she was ill. So there's not really time to figure out anything, to be honest. It's enough time to say goodbye to people. But I think for me, my sister helped to even more realise I'm happy with that way of living, in terms of like, I don't get built up. Like, if someone doesn't like me, whatever, if someone I know is disloyal, I don't speak to them, because I don't need to be. If I've seen, and it's not towards me disloyal, if I've seen them do dodgy things to other people, they will not talk to me, or I won't talk to them. I've had someone, again, recently reach out to me probably a few times over the last few months, like begging to have a coffee with me because he really respects me and wants to explain it. No, I've seen enough of his colours, not towards me, to other people.
Exactly.
And I think I'm not wasting any time on people that aren't worth it. And I think when I die, I want to be exactly like you and think, at least I tried. I might have not liked my decision. You're not always going to like every decision you make, but when I kick the bucket, I know I've given it a go. Because I don't know how I could be on my deathbed and think like, oh, I said I was going to do that and I didn't do it.
Yeah,
I had to come back from Dubai because of Otis. That sounds bad because of Otis, but for me, he's my life. Like hopefully when he's about 10, 11, I can get back out of England. But until 10, I've just got to realise that, okay, I can't leave England because he is my world. So I've got to wait until he's a little bit older and hope that I can take him with me. Hope that I can take him with me. And for me, it's just about realising that regret would be just horrible. So I think it's important, and death is like scary, but one of my best mates, his kind of mother-in-law, they're getting married next year. His mother-in-law found out she was ill on the very start of May, and she died Sunday before last.
Oh, God.
Again, like a bit like my sister. It was just she was like quite, well, I say young. She was older than my sister, but she was in her late 50s. And that's young in this day and age.
Yeah, you just don't know, do you?
So yeah, for me, I just live to the full, look after myself. That's why I had a bit of my chest cut out last week because of my sister.
Yeah, do you want to say what happened?
Well, Zoe, so for people listening, Zoe died of melanoma. It is founded negligence, so I'm allowed to say that now. She saw her GPs a few times over the course of 5 years about a mole, and they kept saying it's fine, it's normal. And then the last one said go to a beautician and get it shaved off, of which she did, and that didn't get tested. That was also an ex-GP, that beautician.
Oh wow!
So that lady should have known better as well. Charged Zoe to test it, never tested it. Anyway, long story short, no symptoms. In COVID, she had some symptoms of COVID, so got tested, and then she had cancer everywhere. And then she died 55 days later. So for me, we do petition a lot about Zoe's law because we want to change the law. But it's importantly more because you do know your own body.
Yeah.
And obviously, now I know a lot about skin cancer. When I saw this newish mole, which is really dark, come up on me in my chest there, I went straight to a specialist. And they're like, yeah, we actually need to test that. And so it's just knowing your own body. The amount of people, hundreds of thousands have contacted us since Zoe's died. And not necessarily all melanoma related, and said, when I heard Zoe's story, I was uncomfortable with something I went to the doctors about, and I went back, and it turns out I did have this, or did have that. So for me, my point to anyone listening is, you know your body.
Always.
You know your body, and if you're not comfortable, like my friend's mum got tailored off to menopause. She had lung cancer and she died. So like, you know your body, and it doesn't matter how annoying you think you are to the GPs, be bloody annoying.
Yeah.
Like until you are satisfied that you are definitely not. I don't want you to be a hypochondriac, but unless you're satisfied, do not accept it. So unfortunately, Zoe died at 26 and left behind 2 little boys.
That's just awful. Absolutely
and she didn't get to live, but she didn't get married. So that was something she always wanted to do. What was weird is she planned her funeral with me, which is quite a weird thing, if I'm honest. Like, she said, well, I've never got married, so this is the closest thing I'm going to come to my wedding. And it's such a surreal experience from an older brother who helped bring up your little sister. She chose the songs she wanted, what photos she wanted, the song she wanted when she walked down the aisle, and that was the point. I was like, this is your funeral. She's like, well, it's the closest thing I've got to a wedding. And it was one of the worst, one of the worst things. Well, you can't really experience much worse things, but it's one of the worst things I've ever experienced in life.
Of course.
And the trauma and grief is quite tough.
Yeah.
But you learn to live with it.
In how many, her life, unfortunately, has been taken.
Yeah.
But you being able to spread the what do we even call it, the news to everyone, and being able to...
It's just that awareness,
you've been able to help a lot of people through that as well. She's been able to help a lot of people.
Definitely had thousands of people. I don't know the exact amount, but definitely thousands. And like I said, that's why we keep talking about Zoe and keep sharing her awareness and keep banging on about it. And obviously I probably have upset a lot of doctors and NHS and stuff over the last few years. I couldn't give a crap.
Yeah.
Do your job properly and I won't care.
Yeah.
Like, do what you're paid for.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying those GPs that let her down wanted to kill her. It was just cutting corners. And not actually taking proper care in another person's life.
Yeah.
So that's but that's the thing. I think me and my mum are slightly different. I think she's really happy when she hears a good outcome because of hearing Zoe's story. But I think then she also has that point of like, well, Zoe didn't get to live. And it is natural to think that way. But for me, I find it really hard because most of Zoe's law stuff, I do.
Yeah.
And obviously I've done a lot of very hard things and I campaign and it's very thankless. People don't thank much. The charities do, but because obviously we give all money we raise to charities. So they're thankful. But as a nation, coming back to that blame culture, people don't recognise much.
No.
So it can be quite thankless and quite tiring. And many a times you think, I can't really be bothered I can be bothered, but does anyone even care?
Yeah.
When you then do hear those little I had one yesterday, I put it on it might have been this morning, or yesterday when I put it on my Instagram story, to be fair, someone messaged me. They're the moments where it makes it help.
Yeah.
You okay, I will continue to do this because that person's life has been saved because of Zoe. And they're in Manchester.
Yeah.
So her story has gone everywhere. And so every time I debate, have I still got the energy to keep going? Because it is horrible.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're obviously having to what people don't appreciate is I relive the grief all the time because all I ever do is do it. But when people have good experiences, it's like, I'll do it
That's
for another.
why I keep going.
I'll do it for another few months, then.
Yeah.
So as long as every few months someone's like, "Oh, do you know what? Thanks, this happened." I'm like, "Oh, I'll keep going."
Yeah, definitely. But it's true. You always know your body like more than anyone else, and we also say that as parents, right? We know our kids better than anyone else because we've had it loads of times regarding children as well.
Yeah.
And parents are knocking down on the doctor's doors about anything.
Yeah.
So I just think always just be in tune with that stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
you know your body. You know your body. People closest to you, especially skin cancer. People don't realise how big it is in England. So I think people don't realise that, and actually your partners are one of your best people for skin cancer because they see your body.
Yeah.
So especially your back and things you can't see, they see those things. So that's what I mean. Just know your body. You know your kids' bodies. Like young people, melanoma. I'm not going to try and be too scientific, but most of your melanoma might be created by the age of 11.
Really?
So because parents are the biggest part to play in this, because I think parents can get lazy and think, well, they don't put the sun cream on properly enough. And also between April and October in England, the UV is actually quite high. So just because it's cloudy doesn't mean. I think in the beauty world, you're probably better off because everyone's aware of this SPF 30 moisturisers and stuff like that.
But
so you get
still
sun protection. And the beauty world, a big pet hate of mine. Anyone listening is sunbeds. Those things should be banned for good because, honestly, there's no benefit other than you having a tan.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to a sunbed. You can get infrared beds for the benefits you need. But they're so by the age of 11. Melanoma is probably already in some form in you. Doesn't mean it will materialise then.
Yeah.
So parents play a huge factor in avoiding skin cancer because a kid ain't going to go and put a sun cream on. Most kids are bloody pain in the backside putting sun cream on.
Yeah, of course they are. I was doing it on Brody yesterday and it's like screaming and then it's getting a towel and it's trying to rub it all off and it's like a nightmare.
Like hats, like again, I see so many kids playing, especially in Mediterranean places. Where they don't wear a hat. I don't think you realise you can still get melanoma on your face. Your head is one of the biggest parts to get it. So I don't know. I don't want to bore people. But
it's definitely spreads the word, don't it?
Yeah.
I also want to touch on, just before we stop, because I know this conversation has been going on for a while, but investment.
Yes.
Because I have loads of clients that have kind of got to that next level. They've mostly got lots of cash in the bank. They're making money. kind of done with buying the materialistic things and this and that, and then not having anything left at the end of it.
That's what most people do.
I know. What should people's first steps be if they want to invest? Is that in property? Is that in stocks and shares? Like the easiest possible way to invest?
So if you look at the top 10 people in the world, top richest people in the world, 9 of the 10, their actual wealth is property. The reason they use property as a wealth is because it's an asset that is fixed and it grows in value. Obviously, businesses are great for cash flow. That's why I buy businesses. Yeah. Businesses make me money to buy more property. I'm not saying property is necessarily the right answer because it depends on the person, but you've got to think about an asset. The problem, if you look at pensions now, I still do a pension, people, but now Labour have decided to tax pensions. So actually, the whole point of pensions is null and void now. So for me, investment has to be a key. Like, I know I sound really boring to people, but when you're earning 10 grand a month, what possible reason do you need to spend 10 grand a month? Like, other than pure material nonsense, you can still have a very nice month spending 5 grand a month. Very nice. I'm on about expenses, like not about your bills here. But if you've got 10 grand or 2 grand spare, you don't have to spend that on rubbish. Like, for me, as someone I worked with recently, and they have about 7 grand spare, and it sounds high. I was like, but you should be investing 5 grand of that. You're already having a nice lifestyle. Still spunk 2 grand on whatever else you want to spunk it on. But why are you not investing for your future? Because people don't think about enough of that when they want to slow down. Yeah. Because they're earning 10 grand a month spare now, they think, I'm always going to earn your business could close next month. COVID. So many businesses went under during COVID. Yeah. Some flourished, but so many. So you don't know what's coming. Businesses are volatile. Property isn't. You know, the longest it's taken equity value to double is 14 years in history. So if you have a spare 100 grand, you should be buying 4 properties. If someone comes to me with 100 grand, I could get them 6 properties. Really? Through leveraging. Those 6 properties will earn you probably 3 grand plus a month. Those 6 properties will also double in value in 14 years. No other investment does that. Sorry, but there isn't. So I'm biased towards property because of what property's done for me. If you don't have enough to buy a property, then it's into those stocks and shares, and there's other like premium bonds don't give you a fixed income, but again, just get out your way so you don't spend it. Yeah, just because sometimes just having it in front of you, you will just go and buy that Gucci bag. I see lots of people on my Instagram story buying this bag and buying that bag. Okay, well done, but that's gonna do absolutely nothing for you. Yeah, just zero. Like, I've got one materialistic thing in life, and that's my Porsche. But that's because my sister died. I thought, I can't die not having owned a Porsche. Outside of that, these trousers are probably 8 years old. Until they're done, I don't need any other trousers. I might sound boring. So yeah, for me, investing's huge, and people ignore it. Because footballers, I've worked with a lot of footballers over the last 10, 12 years. 52% of them go bankrupt after they retire. That's crazy, isn't 52%. It? For all that money. And some of these are earning hundreds of thousands a week. Not month or year, a week. It happens to any successful people. Like, in the finance world, they're some of the worst people I've known, but they're the people teaching people. Yeah. So yeah, I think for me, if you earn a certain amount, you should always think about 60% has to be invested. Has to be. I mean, I would do more, but 60% has to be invested. And whatever you invest in is better than nothing. It could be other businesses. It could be other formats, but for me, property is the one that's going to give you 2 forms of income. Because if it goes into a stocks and share, you might get 7% in a year. Yeah. A good property will give you 7% yield, as well as capital growth, as well as monthly income. Yeah. So would you not say to invest in pension now, or would you still say to invest in pension as well? I mean, that depends on the person. There's not really actually, with the tax planning now, but there's from a wealthy person, the reason wealthy people would use pensions is because of tax benefits. Yeah. They're about to get rid of those tax benefits. So what's the point? Yeah. Because a pension doesn't perform as well as a property. So I've actually got 2 clients at the moment pulling out combined over £1 million because they're just going to take that out and buy properties. Yeah, definitely. Because it's like, what's the point? Yeah. Like, properties will give me better monthly income and better capital growth. So I don't want to be here sitting giving that advice without knowing the person's independent situation.
Mhm.
But if you're wealthy, then yeah, I don't really know what the benefit is now.
Yeah.
If you're not and you're working, or you're employed, or you're earning smaller amounts, then pension's probably a really good way
Best
to.
way,
Yeah, because certain companies give you really good
yeah.
money back. So why would you not get free money on your money?
Yeah.
So I still think pensions are good because, again, I've had 2 staff opt out of our pension scheme.
Yeah, we had loads of our staff. I think in the end we've got like 1 person on it, and I'm like, guys,
They're like, I'd rather have the extra. But when you want to retire at whatever age, it'll probably be about a million years old by the time we get there. But when you want to retire at whatever that age might be in the future, you ain't retiring. You're going to work till you die.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you might lose £200-300 a month through your pension, through your work, but our employers, annoyingly, we have to contribute a certain percent. So by you putting money in, you're getting free money.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do want to retire, but honestly, yeah, it happens loads. Like one of my other companies, all bar one, opted out. Oh, what are you doing? So yeah, I think it depends on what your spare capital is.
Yeah.
If you only have £50 spare a month, your best investment is going around your own community and finding all of the successful people you know and just inviting them out for a coffee or lunch once a month.
Yeah.
That's your best investment then.
I've heard that a lot.
That is your best investment.
Yeah.
If you've got 50 quid spare, that is your best investment because you're not going to make money in stocks and shares on 50 quid. But you sitting with, if someone in your community said to you, could I take you for a quick coffee? You're an approachable person, so you're probably not going to say, as long as it suits your diary.
Yeah.
You're pretty like, when I'm free, I'll come out for a coffee.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, love that. I reckon we could carry on talking forever.
We have talked for a while.
we have. Where can people reach out? Where's best?
Best place to get hold of me quickly is actually, to be fair, probably Instagram or LinkedIn. They're the 2 quick places. If you email me, I'll respond, but it'll take a little bit longer.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
If any of you loved this episode, well, you all loved this episode as much as we did, please go and share it on socials, tag us both, so then it can get to more people. We'll also put a link to Zoe's Law as well.
Share that as well.
Yeah, so you can share that and go and follow and all of those things. And we'd really, really appreciate that help spread that as far and wide as possible as well. So thank you so much, Charlie.
Thanks for having me.